Hey there everyone, Mazarok here, and today I want to discuss the new seasonal dungeon rotation system that they are implementing in Season 4, Season 1 of Dragonflight, and then continuing seasons within the new expansion. Why I think there's a lot of good to it, why I think there's definitely some bad to it as well, and what some possible fixes could be. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe. 2,700 already. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. Every time I say we're at a certain amount, by the time I'm recording this, you guys just crush it by the time the video even comes out. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we're past 2,700 now. How quick are we going to get to 2,800? I don't know. Thank you. There is a Patreon link down below if you wish to support me directly, if you like what I do, and there's some pretty sweet perks in there as well. There's a Discord link down below if you'd like to continue this conversation in there, full of great positive people. That community is just absolutely amazing. Love every single one of you. And there is, of course, my Twitch link down below if you wish to see me stream, or ask me questions live, or anything like that, and have some fun. So, let's get going. So what is the new dungeon system that's going to be happening? And by dungeon system, I mean kind of dungeon scheduling, I guess. So, Season 4, coming up August 2nd, we are gaining 2 Tazavesh dungeons. We're keeping 2 Tazavesh dungeons. And we're gaining 6 old revamped dungeons. Cool. It's the end of the expansion. We've been running the same 8 dungeons from original Shadowlands launch since its launch. And I will admit, it's been too long. I mean, I'm tired of running Plaguefall. I'm tired of running some of these dungeons. But at the same time, I'm gonna miss them because there's a certain dopamine hit when you time a high key that you've mastered over a certain period of time, and we're gonna get back to that very thought later. And so we're getting the 6 new dungeons, which is going to be a breath of fresh air. Let's face it, right? Absolutely, it's gonna be a breath of fresh air. We're gonna have an entire season to kind of run these dungeons and have fun and move along with and all that fun stuff. Dragonflight is going to be released hopefully at the end of 2022, and it might be released in 2023 in the early parts of the year. At launch, what they've said is going to happen, we're going to get 4 original Dragonflight dungeons. Season 1, 4 original Dragonflight Mythic Plus dungeons. Then we are going to get 4 revamped old dungeons. I think Shadowpan Monastery was one that I heard Ian in an interview say. Although I can't find that anymore, so I'm kind of wondering if that's some sort of weird Mandela effect. I don't know. If you guys heard it too, let me know. And then there was another one as well. So I think Court of Stars was one that he said. Actually, I think it was Court of Stars and Shadowpan Monastery from Legion, and then 2 more. But, I mean, I can't find it anywhere. Wowhead seems to have taken down the post. Or I just am hallucinating. So we'll see what happens. So those are the 4. So those are the 4 revamped that we're going to get, or the 4 old ones that we're going to get, and then we're going to get the new 4 Dragonflight dungeons. In Season 2, Mythic Plus, Dragonflight, we are going to get 4 new Dragonflight dungeons, and then we're going to get 4 different revamped dungeons. And this should continue that way. The pros of this new system, especially going forward in Dragonflight, I'm not going to touch as much Season 4, especially for Season 4, because any argument that you have for getting the 6 new dungeons is 100% correct. We've been running the same 8 we ran the same 8 Mythic Plus dungeons for Seasons 1 and 2, just non-stop. We had nothing new, aside from a hard mode Tazavesh non-Mythic Plus, if that's what you wanted to do, which the gear became pretty much irrelevant after 2 weeks, so... And then in Season 3, I mean, we got the 2 Tazavesh dungeons, which have been an absolute blast of fresh air. But we're still running the other 8 same, right? So really, 80% of our content is this in Season 3 is exactly what it was in Season 1 and 2. So now getting 6 new dungeons and taking the old original launch dungeons out of the rotation, yeah, it's gonna feel great. It's gonna be nice. This is a completely kind of wacko test season. Let's go. Honestly, let's go. Let's have some fun. 100%. Then in Dragonflight, they're looking at repeating the same kind of pattern. Obviously, different changes. 4 Dragonflight dungeons, 4 revamped dungeons. And I think that's a good launch idea. 100%, I think that's a good launch idea. It will bring old content relevant again, which is going to be very nice. And we're still going to get new content. Season 2 is where I'm starting to have a problem with this, where they're removing the 4 new Dragonflight dungeons for 4 new Dragonflight dungeons. and keeping around that 8 dungeon Mythic Plus rotation basis. We've barely played those Dragonflight dungeons. And the point that here is, it takes time to master dungeons, and it takes more than a season to master dungeons. We've still discovered new tech in the Shadowlands launch dungeons that we've played 2 years straight. There's still new weird stuff coming out that can absolutely help blast a key that we're just discovering. That we just discovered this season. And by removing the 4 Dragonflight dungeons, you're honestly kind of limiting how well people can master the game. Because there's one thing, so there's a lot of different reasons why people play WoW. Some people play WoW for new relevant content, new raids, But the thing is the seasons last a while for raids. You're running the same raid, aside from Season 4. We're running all 3 raids, but you're running the same raid. Right? You clear it once, that's your prog. After that, it's a re-clear, and that's your mastery of the raid, right? You get better loot, you get better damage, you get better gear. How quickly can you plow through this raid, right? Is it still a 2-night re-clear? Or can you guys destroy that raid in 1 night? That's mastering the raid. That feels good. And I guess, and I'm not, once the new raid comes out, yeah, you don't want to run it again, you've done it. But that's, 8 to 11 bosses that you've mastered over the course of the thing. But the thing is with Mythic Plus, it's different because you have 100% trash that you need to master, and you have every single boss within all of those dungeons that require certain level of mastery and tech and kind of class, combinations. What is it like? What could be a really good tank healer combo that could actually kind of break a boss a little bit, or have some secret tech or things like that? That takes time. That takes a lot of time to master, and a lot longer than raid, I'd argue. And I think that's a pretty fair argument, right? So that portion of Dragonflight is going to suck. For the people that play Mythic Plus, I think they're going to enjoy new content. I think they're going to enjoy new dungeons. I don't think that's the problem. Let's really add new dungeons. That's great. What I think they should do is the 4 at-launch Dragonflight dungeons. And I like the fact that it's 4 and not 8, right? Because I think one of the main drawbacks to the way it was done in Shadowlands was we had 8, and then we had the same 8 just forever. But if you start with 4... and then you add 4 in Season 2, so what in Season 2 could happen, we have our 4 launch dungeons, 4 new Dragonflight dungeons, and then another 4 revamp dungeons. It expands the pool up to 12, so if you're bored of the first 4 dungeons, because maybe you're not someone who likes to kind of progress and master every little minute detail of Mythic Plus, and that's fair, not everybody likes that. But there is also a big community of people that do, right? So we've got to try and put everybody in one big happy circle, and I know I'm talking about World of Warcraft players, and that is a monumental task. Monumental. Because WoW players are not a big, happy group of family. Let's face that. The comment section below in almost any YouTube creators content, Reddit, and the forums absolutely prove my theory, or just spend 5 minutes in the game. But we can really kind of cater a little bit more to specific Mythic Plus, where you can not remove the complaints, but mitigate them a little bit, right? And why not try and mitigate them a little bit? So if you start with the Season 1 the way that it is, 4 Dragonflight launch dungeons and 4 revamped dungeons, that's great. You got old content coming back, you're going to hit the nostalgia fans that are still playing this game going, oh man, I remember Shadowpan Monastery, that was so fun, I can't wait to run it in Mythic Plus. You're going to get a new group of people who's like, I never played MOP, I never got to play it, let's go. And then you get these new dungeons coming in, where you get, the whole learning and aspect of it, and kind of move forward, and have all fun here. But then in Season 2, what you could do is you could let the people that really like rerunning stuff endlessly, because there are some people who literally just do their Mythic Plus for the week, that's it, my vault is good, I don't want to touch anything more, I don't want to touch anything above 15, but then you have people that, like me, I live in keys. I'm just constantly doing them, and I like doing them, I like the repeatable content, I do. It's getting a little stale at the end of Shadowlands here, but I've already explained why. But if you mitigate that staleness to kind of 4 at launch, and then keep those 4 in Season 2, add a new 4, and then add 4 revamp dungeons, and you remove the old revamp dungeons, you've got 8 new dungeons of newness, right? New. Let's go. It's new. But then you got 4 dungeons that you can go in and you can crush and master and just really go into and kind of deep dive, continue your deep dive from season to season, right? That mitigates it a lot, because if, 2/3 of your content is new, things get stale a lot less quickly. If you don't want to run X Dragonflight dungeon because you've run it 100 times in season 1, you have 8 other dungeons to choose from that day. But then maybe you wake up the next day and you're like, well, I just want to crush this dungeon. I got this key in my bag, so I'm gonna crush this dungeon. Let's go. And that feels good too, right? I think that could be a different system moving forward that could benefit a lot of Mythic Plus players and kind of widen the pool of what you can do. You can add new, but you can also keep the old in a way that won't render things super stale super quickly. Anyhow, what are your feelings and opinions on this? Remember, let's keep it civil, guys, in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your guys' opinion on this video. Have yourselves a good day, and thank you very much for listening. And I hope you guys are excited for Season 4 as much as I am. And Dragonflight! Let's go!